Welcome to stage 2 of the inaugural SA Safari Rally. We're in Bessiesley, which is about 200 kilometers away from the creature comforts of Sun City. From here, competitors will tackle around 356 kilometers as they head towards another small town called Stella. However, this stage comes with a twist because once they reach their destination, they won't return to Sun City. No, they'll stay overnight in tents. Welcome to the marathon stage.
The Greater Northwest area is regarded as the spiritual home of rally raid racing in South Africa. It has everything to provide crews from all over the world with a serious challenge, and is quite literally one of the reasons why South Africa and its entire rally raid fraternity is so highly regarded around the world. International visitors often sing the praises of both the quality of drivers we have in our country, as well as the level of racing cars that have made their mark on the international rally raid scene. So what exactly is it that makes South Africa so successful on the international stage?
Toyota's involvement in the sport is truly amazing. They've been in motorsport for the last 40, 50 years. Particularly, I think, in rally raid, they started 15 years ago. They work hand in hand with us. They really invested into this whole project to see it through and to take it forward. This is the vision. This is the future. This is what we see, and we've built it. The stats say that it's 50 or 60% of all the race cars on the field in Dakar are manufactured in South Africa. So that's 60%. It's a lot manufactured in South Africa, and yeah, we're pretty proud of what we do.
I think for us to build cars and sell them overseas, it makes a big market for us because things are a little bit cheaper in South Africa rands comparing to Europe. So, and we build a proper car. You know, we build a factory spec level car for those guys.
South Africans, you know, if they put their mind to something, they push until they get it, you know. No mountain too tall enough. In South Africa, we operate with different budgets compared to the rest of the world. The rest of the world operates in euros and dollars, and the budgets are big and huge. So we have a budget from Toyota South Africa, but we also sell cars to generate income so we can fund the racing as well.
Shamir is pushing the limits a lot more with us to up production because every year you build 10 cars, that's every year you have to supply more parts for those 10 cars. So 1 year is 10 cars, next year is 20 cars. At the end of the day, you have to build now parts for 40 cars that's outside there, where people can only buy it from South Africa. So it's now spending the money and the time to have complete assemblies on the shelf where it makes your life and the customer's life easy to be able to race this Hilux.
Off-road cross-country as we know it now is so strong in South Africa and has been for years and years and years. And the fact that there's just so many cars competing worldwide that are built in South Africa is unbelievable. So off-road racing is very strong and proudly South African, competing all over the world. We'd like to think we play a part of it, yes, for sure. These cars are built by ourselves. We've got cars competing in South America and Europe, Australia. So yeah, we play a part of it, yeah.
I guess it's because we make a plan, yeah, and with the resources we have now. Joke aside, I think it's because the championship is strong, yeah. And the sport started here many years ago, probably 40 plus years ago, and became just a culture here. And because the South Africans thought they could design and build better cars than Americans, today we have a very strong field of South African cars.
South Africa is very successful in the sport, you know, due to just the experience that we got, the amount of engineering capabilities, and for the 20-odd years that I've been involved, it's just been that way, and it's just got better every year. So, you know, when we look at it now, it's probably well over 50% of the field here are South Africans. High up the cars would probably be even higher. In our personal capacity, we're here in 25% of the field. So, yeah, just South Africa is really, really good in this discipline of motorsport.
You know, we don't take no for an answer. We've got that go-get spirit and we don't care what people think of you. You just get on, stuck in and do your job. We are go-getters. We want to make things work. You don't just sit and relax and wait for stuff to fall in your lap. We want to push the limits. I mean, South Africans are hard workers. The terrain is very tough, one of the toughest. And it helps us to develop the Hilux properly in South African terrain, and when we go there, we know there's nothing tougher than South Africa.
There's an evolution to the car. In fact, there's a new car coming, which we're hoping to reveal soon. We might reveal it at up-and-coming Dakar. If not, we'll be later on during that year. Excited about it. Team's working hard. To get something better than what we have, it's a tough one.
It's basically pushing the limits on production, you know, making stuff stronger and to compete against overseas manufacturers that does the same sort of thing that we do, and to take the brand further, to show that Toyota invest in the technology with SVR to take their brand further and compete on the competition level for them overseas. And to be able to compete against those guys, you need to do your homework properly, because there's a lot of clever guys overseas. And to do it from South Africa is phenomenal.
The final proof is in the pudding, as they say, and there's no better proof than the podium ceremony following stage 1. A ceremony where South Africans Henk Lodekan and navigator Brett Cummings were rewarded for winning the stage, and one only has to look at the company around them to understand what that means. On the one hand, a double World Rally champion and 4-time Dakar winner, the legend himself, El Matador, Carlos Sainz. And on the other side, arguably the best all-round driver to ever walk the face of the earth, 9-time World Rally champion, Sebastian Loeb.
And all three of them, as well as about 50 other drivers, are about to battle it out in the dirt between Bisesvlei and Stella. Let's go racing!
Welcome to stage 2 of the South African Safari Rally. It's time for part 1 of the marathon as we attack the longest special of the week. There was a high-profile non-starter in Rally GP this morning, Tosha Schreiner. The Spaniard, who is second in the World Championship, crashed yesterday, damaging his Honda and his left hand. Get well soon. Ross Branch was delighted to get back to winning ways yesterday after what has been a tough 2025 so far. However, his ill fortune returned with a vengeance on stage 2 as he ground to a halt early on with mechanical issues. Here's what happened.
Just unlucky. I hit a big bird and broke the oil cooler, and now there's no oil left in the bike.
The world champion did make it through, but lost over an hour and a half. It was a better day for his hero teammate, Nacho Cornejo. The Chilean struggles on this kind of terrain, so he spent a few months in Italy practicing on hardpack and enduro-style tracks. 6th place today, but he was some way behind the front runners. Well, Schreiner may be out, but we are still set for a scrap between KTM and Honda for overall victory. The trio in red couldn't quite match the duo in orange today, coming 3rd, 4th and 5th, but the gaps at the top are tight. Van Beveren is 3rd overall, and he was given time back after stopping to open 1 or 2 closed gates. Breivik was Honda's top performer on the stage, even if he dropped almost 5 minutes to the winner. The 2-time Dakar champion is just taking things day by day, and he's 3 minutes off the pace. Well, Skyler Howes was very unhappy with his navigation yesterday, but said today was much better. He had some fun winding his way through these savannah tracks, but he's over 20 minutes back overall. KTM, though, was simply on another level as they completed a 1-2. After his excellent job opening yesterday, Luciano Benavides was 2nd fastest and now 2nd overall. The Argentine determined to secure a podium after coming 4th at rounds 1 and 2. But up in 1st place, and it's becoming a familiar sight this season, was Mr. Daniel Sanders. Chucky already served notice of his pace yesterday after losing a lot of time early on, and today he managed to catch and pass the two riders in front of him, Brabeck and Van Beveren. The World Championship frontrunner storming into the overall lead, even if not everything was perfect. Sanders just 32 seconds ahead of his teammate Benavides today, but nearly 5 minutes clear of Brabeck. Bradley Cox was 15 minutes back in 7th place. It is looking like a four-horse race between Sanders, Benavides, Van Beveren and Brabeck. Roy Barbosa continues to gain experience in the Rally 2 class as he builds towards his first Dakar. The Chilean needs to complete the Safari Rally to rubber stamp his entry for 2026. He admits that navigation is his Achilles heel, but he's a fast learner and he's currently running 5th overall in class. Konrad Dabrowski is a place ahead of him in 4th, having made a solid start to life with the BAS World KTM team. The Pole says it can be pretty hairy going through these sections with the deep grass, but when you can see what's coming up, it's good fun. A few navigation errors today, costing him around 18 minutes. Well, just as Red Bull KTM dominated in Rally GP, they also dominated in Rally 2, with Edgar Canet taking his 2nd consecutive victory. The Spaniard did struggle a bit in the last 40 kilometres or so, but otherwise he was very happy with his pace. Canet winning by 6 minutes 14 from Mike Doherty, with Tobias Ebster completing the podium for Hero. The gaps are starting to open up overall, and Canet looks increasingly like the man to beat. Today's victory in the quads went to Antanas Kanopkinas. After some mechanical trouble yesterday, the Lithuanian had a cleaner run to beat his teammate Gaetan Martinez by nearly 5 minutes. With Marek Woy crashing out yesterday, it'll be a two-man tussle between the CF Moto Thunder Racing pair for supremacy in South Africa. 22 minutes and 2 seconds separate Martinez and Kanopkinas, with their rivals already well out of contention. Every morning in Rally Raid, riders and drivers head out into the unknown. So how exactly do their teams follow the action?
So we're here in the M Sport Ford bivouac. We've had a few cars into the stage. Let's go and have a look around and show you what goes on when a stage is live.
Welcome in the Dacia Sandrider. It's a privilege, I guess, because we never enter nobody inside.
So yeah, we've got a mix, 13 people in here, a mix of engineers, sport inside.
We have one race engineer by car, is directly linked with the driver.
Once the cars leave here, it's pretty much out of our control of what happens, but it's now a case of following the race.
We have just a few information. This is part of the Rally Raid. You have to discover the track, so we don't have any information to not give to the car, and we don't have any link with the car.
As I say, it's can be worrying when you see the map stop or a bad split time, but yeah, there's literally nothing we can do at that point. When the car comes back, then obviously that's when the real work starts, particularly for the engineers. Looking through all the data of what's happened in the day on the two cars, from the engine side to the chassis side, and the car's then ready to go again for tomorrow.
This wasn't a good day to be opening in the ultimate class. The first 5 men out of the gate all lost at least 10 minutes as they went this way and that way and then back the other way, trying desperately to find the right track. Well, Sebastian Loeb fared the best of the front runners, but he could only manage 10th place on the day. And the overnight leader, Henk Laterken, dropped a significant chunk of time in the latter part of the stage. He slips down to 5th place overall. The Ford Raptors of Carlos Sainz and Nani Roma also struggled to find their way, but apart from that, they avoided any major issues. El Matador absolutely thundering his way between the fields. He now sits just 4.5 minutes off the lead. Here's a less familiar name, Daniel Schroeder, who's been doing a fine job this week. The German's competing for the family team, PS Laser Racing, alongside his father Jürgen, and he began the day 7th overall as the leading privateer. In recent years, Daniel's been a regular at the South African Rally Raid Championship, so he knows these tracks, and he took another top 10 today. It was certainly better to start further back today and have some rabbits to chase, and between 8th and 10th looked like a bit of a sweet spot. Ryan Baragwanath came 5th for Century Racing, climbing up to 2nd place overall after a nice clean run. It wasn't all good news though for the South African manufacturer, as Frenchman Mathieu Serradori retired due to a slipping clutch. It's no major surprise to see the Toyota Gazoo racing team faring well here in South Africa, and after setting off 10th today, Seth Quintero propelled himself into the overall lead. The young American was 4th quickest on the day, so he'll also have a few lines to follow on stage 3. Talk about getting stuck in. At one point today, it was actually Nasser Al-Attiyah who topped the overall standings, but the World Championship leader incurred a 15-minute penalty for missing a waypoint, and that left Quintero top of the pile. The Qatari now sits down in 15th, so he has some work to do to claw his way back up the leaderboard. But as we know, he's going to give it his all until the very last kilometre.
Look like not easy going, this weekend, but still we have 3 days and we try to do our best.
And how about today's stage victory? Well, it appeared to be going to Guillaume de Mévius, who did a brilliant job in the X-Raid Mini. While his teammate João Ferreira was halted by a broken differential, de Mévius was flying, but late penalties once again made the difference. 2 minutes for a missed waypoint, and he had to settle for 3rd. Well, his loss was obviously somebody else's gain, or in this case, 2 somebodies, Sayud Variawa and Guy Botterill. The 2 SV Racing teammates began the day a long way back and absolutely made the most of it. Variawa, 20th out of the gate, finished at just 55 seconds down in 2nd place. Well, Botterill had a bad day yesterday, picking up 17 minutes of penalties for missed waypoints, but this was some way to strike back. The South African set off at 41st this morning, and he always looked in contention for top spot. Originally, he was 12 seconds down onto Mévius when he got to the finish line, but the Belgian's penalty handed him the win.
Really happy for the team, really happy for my first World Championship win, stage win, so that was really good. Tomorrow is going to be a challenging day opening the road, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
A South African 1-2 for Botterill and Variawa, with de Mévius in 3rd. Quintero and Baragwanath rounded out the top 5. It's very close overall, just 2 minutes and 9 seconds separating the top 5.
So, that is how things stand. After 356 kilometers of racing, ordinarily a normal day at the office, but with one very big difference.
For once, the bivouac at Sun City is quiet. The nearly 100 drivers and riders are not there. And there are no cars or bikes for the technicians to work on either.
Because all the cars, drivers and navigators are here at a remote bivouac in the African bush outside of a town called Stella. There are no technicians though, which means that if the cars need a little or a lot of TLC, they've got to do it themselves.
Finish the stage, not mechanics, we have to repair, but it looks that everything is okay, so could be okay.
I think the worst part's still coming. We have to camp and sleep in a tent in this cold front tonight.
Oh, it's okay. It's not much to do today, so it's not too bad.
Sure you sign with the car, so no problem. And if you could, would you pay someone to do this? You want to do it?
Check the car. Make sure that it's riding. Remove some of the out. We went through first, so we don't have as much mud. We had more water to cross, but I think some of the other guys have a lot of mud on the car, so helps a bit. Every kilogram counts at the end of the day.
We expected that we can put 50 kilos down, so that's it. That's our work now, and then we will check the rest of the car. But I hope that it seems that everything is okay.
How many times have you cleaned a windscreen in your life?
Oh, a lot of time.
First time.
Fixing and cleaning their cars was only half the job, because they also had to set up their accommodation for the night.
Happy to be here with my friends in this cold place.
Okay.
This is not from the old men, you know. We need to make the rules in the future that more than 50 years old, not allowed to sleep in tent, always hotel or motorhome.
So Janelle,
yeah.
You live for this kind of stuff, eh?
Yeah, I'm used to camping, but not for fun.
So how do you feel about lions being nearby?
I love it. I didn't know that they were so wild. That's wild. I haven't seen one yet, so I wouldn't like to see one tonight, but if I can see it in the car tomorrow, I'll be good.
They'll set up their mansion for tonight.
But it's a pretty cool tent, eh? I think it's double story. Looks good. Just don't know how to pitch it, but looks like Leander.
Sure. No, I think we just loosen everything, and then.
How do you think they got a bigger tent?
No, I don't know. That looks like a small apartment.
You weren't kidding. This is like a double story.
It's wonderful.
That's it. How does this work? Where's your brother? Why is he not helping you?
He's fixing the backyard. I set up camp. Easy. It's a teamwork.
That's red pepper and garlic pasta sauce.
Well, it doesn't sound like paradise. You could have thought otherwise, given that the world's finest rally raid competitors were treated to true South African hospitality at its finest, provided by the local Stella community. A race car is only allowed to carry 2 spare tires, which is sometimes not enough. In such an event, you're allowed to get fresh rubber at the bivouac, but it comes with a time penalty. And the logistics around getting tires to Stella is a challenge in itself.
So this is the truck for the marathon stage bivouac, where the competitors can take extra tyres, obviously because they have no assistance. And what we're busy doing now is we're busy loading the tyres in a specific order for the competitors, making it easy for them to find. This is an open truck. Obviously, it makes it easier for us. We have any tyres to collect from the top. So every tyre in the truck is already assigned to a team with a number. We have it now on our sheet, making it easier for us to find. We know exactly which tyre goes where because every pile is assigned to a number of the competitor. Pretty complicated. I'm learning as well as I go along, but we got it under control.
Rally Raid Racing is a place of fierce competition and rivalry, but around an African fire, friendships can also be formed. But tomorrow, the battle continues.